Hello. What is your name and what do you do for a living?
My name is Addison, and I am a grad student for work. Though I would say it's a bit more of a full-time job than it comes across, but that's the life I chose.
Okay. I'm gonna roll the die. It's for no points. Let's just see what fate wants to ask you.
Okay.
2. It went easy on you. It went easy on you.
Life always does.
Oh, it probably helped if I open it the right way. Where is your favorite place to eat?
Dang, I'm such a foodie. That's such a hard question for me. Right now, probably at home, actually. I had a roommate recently from India. She lived with me for a year, and she was a phenomenal cook. Taught myself and my partner some of her recipes, and that's what we make most nights at dinner at home. We make just the greatest like curry and tandoori butter chicken. Yeah, probably at home right now.
Okay. For one, I'm jealous that you have a good cook.
Yeah, that's great.
The only cooks I have in my dorm room is myself, and I'm not reliable.
Well, that's what restaurants are for.
Yes. And dining places on campus.
Yeah.
Despite the questionable moments.
You get what you pay for.
True.
Then again, I would argue we're all paying a little much, but let's not get into that.
23 minutes begins now.
All right.
4. You want to answer it, so pass it off to me.
Yeah, I'll take an easy one.
You take an easy one.
Call it another warm-up.
Okay. Okay, this is a quick time answer, so you have to be quick with it.
Okay.
Give me 3 underrated superpowers.
Underrated superpowers. Oh, snap. The ability to... I'm sorry, but like the ability to never have to wipe again. Boom. Underrated. The ability to automatically know how many calories you're consuming and what macros they are whenever you eat something without having to count or Google it would be amazing. And then number 3... No, that's not PG. Stamina.
Gotcha. Okay, so based off the calories, I'm assuming you want to just know precisely how much you want to eat because you want to eat a lot.
Yeah.
Healthy, I'm assuming. Or American healthy.
Yeah. Well, so I'm trying to lose weight right now. I do a competition, a sport called strongman that I try to shoot for a weight class to do, but I love eating, and so it's constantly this balance of eating as much as I can, but never like a calorie more. And it's a lot of my time and attention is spent counting calories.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming you have to count every time. It's not like you can make it designated, like, X amount of chicken is this much, I have it memorized type of thing.
There are some that I do, like, 8 ounces of chicken I know off the top of my head, but I still have to count it in a calculator because I don't keep it running.
Gotcha. Those are definitely underrated, and I'm mad I didn't think about it.
Thank you.
So, for me, the superpowers that I think are highly underrated is my subconscious empathy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I love the idea of I know exactly how someone feels. I don't have to try to read a mind because mind reading is overrated.
Yes.
But being able to read someone's true emotion tells me more in the long term.
I agree. Yeah.
The other 2 is probably instant Wi-Fi. Imagine a Wi-Fi connected to you all the time. You don't have to worry about it. And just having like ability to have power in your hand. Not like full on electricity control, but just being able to be like, I got about 2 hours of battery in my hand I can use to charge my phone.
Those last 2 would have saved me so many hours on so many road trips where I was lost somewhere in the countryside for hours. That would have been. Oh yeah, those are good ones.
Nice. Okay. Let's roll. 8. You want to answer this or pass it off to me?
Let's see what you got.
Let's see what I got. Okay. Will you want someone to make a perfect retelling of your life? Like in a movie, documentary, or book? I just feel like my movie will be just too dramatic and traumatizing for people that it's not worth it. Just for the sanity of people. Like, not to go too in depth, but I have made therapists retire.
Sounds like you wear that like a badge of honor.
Subconsciously, yeah.
You shouldn't, but I get it.
Yeah. I made people quit. But what about you? Will you be like 100% down for retelling, or be like, I want some control, please?
So it has to be a perfect retelling.
Yeah. Imagine your entire life condensed to 2 hours and it has to be perfectly shown.
So I'm actually going to say yes, but here's why. Not because it would be necessarily entertaining or fun to watch, but I think if it were like, magically a perfect retelling, I could learn so much about my own life, because like we all weave our own narratives. I'm the one who's experienced the most amount of my own life, obviously. But that means I also have the most amount of bias, right? And there are, probably many experiences from 10, 15 years ago that, are very clear in my head. Not at all what happened. You know what I mean? And I would just be, 1, terrified, but 2, fascinated to see what I got right and what I was just nowhere close to.
Okay. I mean, that is valid. It's just, I feel like most people who will be in the audience will be like, yeah, no, I can't take this.
No, it would be incredibly uncomfortable, and I don't know why anyone else would want to watch it except me and maybe like really close friends who are excited to see if Brad Pitt plays them. Okay, side question. If you did have to still do the movie, who would you want? Like, famous actor. Who would it be?
Shoot. The first person that came to my mind, and I'm annoyed that this person came to my mind, Tom Holland.
Okay.
That's just the first person that came to my head, so I'm assuming that's what it would be.
I like that. I was actually thinking, oh gosh, redhead. Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Plot twist. Emma Stone. And was I a female or a woman of any kind growing up? Nope. I was a little boy. But I feel like Emma Stone could really knock that out of the park, like my whole lifespan.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Respect.
Thank you. Hit me up if you see this, Emma.
Bye bye, see you, Tom.
Yeah.
I hope you can take a beating.
Yeah, I'd probably have to give that warning too.
Yeah. Here we go. 17.
Ooh, I'm taking it. Let's see what you crafted. How long ago did you write these questions?
I wrote these questions a month ago.
A month ago?
So yeah, no way I even know these questions.
Good.
Oh God.
It looks short and deadly.
It's philosophical.
Okay.
Does time actually exist?
So I do psychological research. That's my study. That's my my grad program, or whatever. And a big model that I base a lot of my research on is called the stress appraisal model. Just to simplify it, is we deal with stressors by the means in which we appraise them, right? Like, we all have different things that stress us out because we see them differently. And it's based on the very basic premise that, we're all cohabitating the same physical world, but by no means are we existing within the same social or cultural or cognitive world, right? Like even the most pinnacle of things we can still see slightly differently. And like taking that perspective, time is one of those few things that I would say you could argue transcends across for every single human being. And so does it exist outside of the human experience? We don't know. And it's because we will never know. We can never actually experience if it exists outside of our own perceptions. It thus exists. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Kind of like a working backwards logic, I guess. So yeah, time does exist for us.
Yeah, just for us. Because the only thing I will say, because that's really similar to what I was thinking, it's just that with animals, well, animals, but like pets and stuff, they don't really perceive time, or at least not an obvious sign that we perceive it. So it's just interesting that time is human-made, but we experience it.
Yeah, and the way we experience it, though, and the way we conceptualize it, is enforced upon everything, whether or not it understands or conceptualizes it. Like this dice, time doesn't exist for this dice, and yet it does because we've enforced it upon it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But only because we have done that, and there's no way for the way we exist to ever not do that. Yeah, anyway, that's a good question.
Okay. So, for once, a psychological question come up to someone that can talk about it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Nice.
Did I get 17 points then?
Yeah. The points are over here saved. I will count them at the end of the time.
Perfect.
Oh. No, we're not answering that question again.
Okay.
Now you roll the dice, and now I'm in the hot seat.
Oh, okay. That's right.
9. I'm going to answer.
Okay.
But you have to open it.
Oh, okay. Is this a joke?
Oh, it's a Fool's Errand. You have to come up with a question on the spot.
Shooty darn. If you could, like, just pick yourself up, like where you are in life right now, and drop yourself off in anywhere else, like in a completely different life, different career, different state, country, whatever, where would it be?
Okay.
Which one of these is yours?
That will be my bio. Gotcha. This is how I will answer it. Mm-hmm. If I could get teleported anywhere outside the United States, like United States just gets destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah. I would love to either go to Ireland or the UK. Okay. Just get teleported in like Dublin or London and just have to make something up. Different complete career. I would love to see how I would do as a criminologist.
Oh, cool.
Because before I discovered media, that was what I was originally going to be. Because I have a really strong interest in discussing random things with people and just trying to get into people's heads. This shows a demonstration of two of those things, media and me just trying to pickpocket people's minds.
Yeah. That's a great reason to come up with the show, because it's the intersection of two of your passions.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Sorry, am I allowed to we'll bleep it out?
We bleep it out for the PBS version.
Alright, cool. Sorry.
The YouTube version will heal all of it.
Cheers.
So that would be the career. And just a life. Call me a crazy person, but I really want to experience what it's like to be a woman. Just to see. Give it like a life just to see.
Yeah, I mean, you've had 20-something years as a man, or at least, you know, being in a typical man's body. Why not 20 or 30 in a different body?
Just to give it a shot and just see.
Like,
I will hate the monthly cycle, but I will be willing to deal with that. So.
Yeah. I mean, I would take that over the probably immense discrimination that we neither one of us could imagine. But yeah, I like that. So, a female you working as a criminologist in Dublin.
Yeah. That's where I will be wanting to be teleported to. What about yourself?
Oh yeah, I forgot I have to answer that too. I'm actually really happy with where I'm at. Like, I feel like I'm in the right place in my life. Not necessarily I'm saying that I'm happy, but I'm in the right place where I need to be. But if I had to redo Seattle, because I just love the like geography there. And since I'm in Seattle, I might as well be a graphic designer because I feel like 80% of the people who live in Seattle are probably graphic designers. Also, that's what I did my first degree in. You wanted to be a criminologist. I wanted to be a graphic designer. Look how that turned out. And you know what? I'll join you on the gender transcending train. I will also abandon this sculpted body and experience something new.
Okay. Respect.
Wait, do I get to roll still?
Yes.
I'll try to steal this from me. Oh, 5.
5. I'll let you answer this.
Okay. This one's actually sealed. Live in a musical, superhero universe, horror film, or a disaster flick.
If I had to choose one, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust myself in a musical. I'm not a singer. I would just make people turn off the movie and I will die, technically.
Oh, good point.
Superhero universe, I'd probably be NPC, knowing my luck. I will take my chances, fail. I would just avoid the major cities and just cross my fingers.
Don't live in Metropolis. I mean, the safest option, if you like really wanted to cling to life, I would have said would have been a musical. But if people turn it off, that means you die. Well, that's a whole different conceptual framework to work in. And so then what are people going to watch the longest? Well, I guess you would be right with like the superhero movies, right? Because Avengers Endgame or 1 or 2 or whatever was like, what, 4, 5, 20 hours long, and everyone saw it. So that's a pretty long lifespan. And I mean, who's going to choose to live in a horror movie? But I think I would. I'm a huge horror fan. I love horror movies. I love watching horror. I love reading about horror. I love the culture behind horror. And to be able to just, you know, how everyone always yells at the screen, like, you know, don't run up the stairs, or like, you're such an idiot. And you just watch these characters die off because they make the dumbest possible decisions. You know, we always kind of think, like, what if I was in that position? Like, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I'd put it to the test.
Okay, you be given the option of a closet, staircase, and the front door.
Yeah, front door typically. Actually, I take that back. I don't know why, but you know, people have kind of like the fight or flight. I'm a pretty passive person, but when I get really scared, I get incredibly aggressive. When I was a little kid, you know how like you turn off the light in the basement and you try to run up the stairs before the ghost got you? Mm-hmm. I would do that, but then I would get so mad at the idea of something scaring me that I would charge back downstairs into the dark basement and start punching at the air and screaming at it. I was freaking wacko. And I'm still kind of that way, where like I get so angry when something scares me that I would probably just charge the murderer head on and die really quickly, actually.
It'd be a Jason Manhattan situation. You just go punching.
Oh, exactly. And then he literally knocks my head off. Exactly. Yeah.
It'd be that recreation. For me, with superhero, again, as long as I avoid the major cities and be the most boring background character in a grocery shop.
Live relatively the same life, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I listen to the credits and then I die.
Well, either way, we're all dying within a few hours, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you will. 11.
All right.
I'll let you answer this.
Okay.
Oh, this one's also sealed. Okay. Oh, yeah, wait. is the biggest hope in this world?
Hope?
Yeah. What do you imagine the biggest hope in the world is?
Answer 1, the thing with feathers. But that's to my lit nerds out there. Answer 2... I have a lot of strong feelings about that, but I don't know how many I can sum up or provide even within a sentence in the span that we have.
We got quite a bit of time, so if you want to go through it, we can.
I can only imagine how many soft cuts would be here, depending on how long I think about it. Not youthfulness. That's overrated. I think biggest hope. That's a good question. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Biggest hope, I'm going to ask hope for what? What are we facing? What as a collective species or society are we facing? And I think everyone experiences suffering of some kind. Everyone experiences isolation in a more literal context, global warming, the literal fear of society's collapse due to global warming. But I think I'm actually going to hone in on the isolation part. I think there's not much that's worse in the human experience than feeling just truly isolated and alone. I think that is just one of the most gut-wrenching pains and experiences you can have that no one wants to experience and that people spend their whole life running from reasonably. And so what is the hope there? I think maybe to be not pessimistic but more pragmatic, that if we're all running from the same thing, that maybe we can kind of, and we do slam into each other in the middle sometimes, trying to run from this fear of isolation or social ostracization. We sometimes collide into each other. And I don't think that even if those bonds are forged from maybe a deep sense of fear or evolutionary sense of not wanting to be on the outside, I think that's what makes us unique. I think that's what brings people hope, and I think that's our biggest hope.
Okay.
Got around to something eventually.
Hey, it's all good. For me, just in general sense, the biggest hope will probably have to be the idea of progress.
Okay.
We always want to progress in some way or form, either social values or like wealth, respect, royalty, etc. Mm-hmm. We always want progression.
It's always forward. Yeah.
Always moving forward, going to the next day. So to me, the biggest hope is the sense of the future and a better future. So seeking a better life, and that's the biggest hope.
Yeah.
Through the idea of either selfish or societal and/or progression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's maybe not uniquely human, but a very exaggeratedly human trait of progress at not all costs, but damn near. So it's a really, I think people typically can sometimes look at that drive for progress as a negative thing. I actually really like your perspective on it though. That, whether it be for yourself or for others, that as a society, that if we can just keep pushing forward, as long as the direction is moving, it will slowly wind its way up. So yeah, I like that a lot.
All right, thank you. Let's see if we can speed run this.
Okay.
5.
Oh, yeah.
2.
2.
18.
Oh.
Okay, you want to answer this?
I'll take it.
You have to speed run this.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, God. How much is enough?
How much is enough? Death is a beautiful thing. So nothing. You said speedrun. Go.
Yeah. 17.
Oh. 19.
Time's up.
Ooh.
Okay, let's tie up the points.
Okay.
After tying up the points, you won this episode. Now, as punishment for me losing,
Okay.
you can pick one of these questions or come up with a question yourself.
I'm going to come up with a question.
Okay.
Because we just met, like, what, 20 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
You definitely seem like a person who's very genuine and, like, truly likes genuine and heartfelt and earnest discussion, which, hell yeah, more of. So I'm gonna try and think of a question
For that?
I'm here. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna give you. We'll call it an opportunity, but I can only imagine you're putting a lot of hard work into this. And with hard work, with creativity, with passion, with any kind of creative project comes immense vulnerability, right? And you're doing a project that literally is, to me, like built around vulnerability in a sense. And so that's like an extra layer of vulnerability on top of it. So I commend you for that. But what I'm really curious about is like, what is your deepest fear that comes from this? Like what failing, or maybe what success? Like what is maybe that one thing you kind of had to get over mentally to do this project? Does that make sense?
Yes. My overall biggest concern about this whole project is making the show authentic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this whole show is about, as you mentioned. I want this to feel real. I didn't want this to feel like the late night show with Jimmy Fallon and all that stuff. I want this show, for anyone who's watching, to just focus on me, you in this case, and the questions at hand to create conversation.
Yeah.
All these questions, all the 300 I wrote, which is overkill, but which we'd be unable to know and predict the questions.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure that the audience know that this is real. I don't want a moment that the audience feel like, oh, this guy scripted everything from the ground up, which is kind of scripted in a sense. The organization and structure, you can argue it's scripted.
It's a weak argument, but sure, you could.
It's one of the arguments I had with someone who's not a part of this project, which made me like double down on completely being blind on this.
Actually, I like that part. I'm glad you did that.
So that was my biggest concern. The people watching thinking that this is too structured and too polished. It's one of the main reasons I have to set it the way I do. I'm not having $3,000 lights all over us, making it really bright. I just wanted to be bland background, light, just you and me.
Right.
Questions, you interact, the audience can interact if they want. That's ultimately why I want it. So my biggest failure and worry is that it doesn't come off as that.
That no matter what work you put into it, or the earnestness you provide or that I provide, that it still, when it goes through the screen, doesn't come off as authentic. Yeah, I think I totally understand that fear. Like my own creative projects, whether they be small or large, I can definitely relate to that, because I think there's a security in being able to say, like, yeah, maybe people didn't like it, or maybe people didn't end up watching it or reading it, but I was truthful and I had a good time doing it, and I felt like even if no one listened, I added something authentic and valuable to the conversation. There's like a warm blanket that comes with that, no matter if it skyrockets the way you want it, or one view on YouTube the way you don't want it, right? And so I think that's a really healthy perspective to have. Honestly, I think that's great. As far as of all the fears you could have said, that's probably like the best one, because that's actually one you do have, to some degree, not completely, you do have some control over, right? You can make efforts to make this authentic. I mean, obviously not that many efforts, or it would then no longer really be authentic. But compared to like, well, you know, I'm afraid, you know, people won't like it or no one will watch it or something like that. And that's just really like not something you can control. So.
And as a media person, I always had that bill in my head that not everything I make is going to be liked.
Yeah.
So I already embraced that idea. And down the road, once all the episodes are released, I'm going to ask what you like and dislike. Like, will you want more fancier lighting or?
Yeah, that's what people want.
Yeah, they're going to want the Mr. B's oversaturated 300%, super bright look.
Well, you know, and when I would imagine your audience would be like schmucks like me, I would assume that's not usually what we go for. Like, we, the royal we, you know, we click on and watch, you know, 4-hour-long YouTube video essays about shows we watched 20 years ago. So I really doubt people are going to be like, we need authentic saturation. But no, great answer. Thank you. I really appreciate this.
And thank you for that great question. I was not mentally prepared for that type of question.
Hell
so
yeah.
that was a good one to think about. Is there any individuals, programs, charities you want to shout out before we end the episode?
Oh, I didn't know that was a question coming. It's like hot ones, you know, to promote your this camera. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention does great stuff. NAMI, National Alliance Mental Illness, is also good, but not as good as the FSP. I didn't maybe cut that part. Boys Town is an amazing organization that I worked for a long time, and they do great work. If you are an individual who is feeling isolated or having mental health issues, call and reach out and talk to someone. Talking to a stranger can actually do amazing things. I worked as a crisis counselor for several years, and I had life-changing conversations. 988, if you're dealing with thoughts of suicide, or even if you're just really needing to talk to somebody, 1-800-278-8255 for the Boys Town National Hotline, which is the hotline that I worked for and has brilliant, amazing counselors on it. And eat your vegetables.
Okay.